So here's how the rich people on Wall Street look at crises. So here's when the tsunami hit Japan. Here's Larry Kudlow, who is now Trump's chief economic advisor. Here's what he had to say about the economic devastation and the human deaths associated with the tsunami in Japan. Ready? Here's what he had to say when it happened.
Coast of Mexico and California, saying it does not anticipate any impact. And Norwegian Cruise Lines, with a ship off the coast of Hawaii and another close to California, says that both of those ships are safe and expected to return to their schedule as expected. Melissa, back over to you.
All right, Julia Borston, thanks so much. Let's take a look at the markets right now as we get close to the top of the hour here. You can see the Dow is trading in positive territory. It's up, a little more than 0.1%, but still in positive territory, 0.3% for the Nasdaq. And look at the S&P bouncing back. It's up about 0.4%. All in all, the market taking this in stride.
I mean, the human toll here looks to be much worse than the economic toll, and we can be grateful for that. And the human toll is a tragedy. We know that.
Wow.
So that's how they think. He said it right out loud on camera that the economics are more important than human beings. That wasn't a mistake that he said that. That's how they feel. Here's Rick Santelli just a few weeks ago at the beginning of the coronavirus outbreak. Here's what he said about the coronavirus outbreak. Keep in mind, their mentality is markets more important than people.
Think about how the world would be if you tried to quarantine everybody because of the generic type flu. Now, I'm not saying this is the generic type flu, but maybe we'd be just better off if we gave it to everybody, and then in a month it would be over, because the mortality rate of this probably isn't going to be any different if we did it that way than the long-term picture. But the difference is we're wreaking havoc on global and domestic economy.
First of all, Rick Santelli is dumb. Not just he can put on a pair of glasses and a tie. He's still dumb. He's dumber than. So he goes, well, we'll just give it to everybody. The death rate won't be any higher. Of course it will be higher, you idiot. Because our ICUs will be overrun. That's what it's all about, flattening the curve. Because if you give it to everybody at once, then we overwhelm our health care system, and then more people die because we have to now ration care, you imbecile. And that's the guy giving you business news. Now you understand why business is a con game? Wall Street is a con? It's all a con. You don't have to be smart to make millions of dollars. This guy's an idiot. It's all insider bullshit. It's got nothing to do with hard work or smarts. A dumb guy like this can make money on Wall Street. That shows you it's not that hard. And that shows you it's rigged. What an idiot. But that's how they think. And guess what? That's why the UK they were going to do herd immunity. Remember that? We're just going to let everybody catch it because they weren't doing anything. They weren't trying to. Same thing with Trump was doing the same thing here. It's not a big deal. Some people will get it. They can go to work. It's not a big deal. Because they don't want to hurt the markets. And now Trump is saying the same thing now. Now Trump is saying Dr. Fauci is warning Trump officials not to listen to growing push among White House advisors, GOP lawmakers, to restart the economy. But Trump is alarmed by stock market and impact of high unemployment for the 2020 election and is weighing easing restrictions on social distancing. Trump suggested at today's briefing that social distancing restrictions will be lifted fairly soon and that the U.S. has learned enough lessons to reopen the economy despite the pandemic. I'm not looking at months. I can tell you that right now, he said. At this point, lifting the guidelines will translate into a horrifying number of American deaths. All public health projections suggest that. And as long as the virus spreads unchecked through the United States, the economy is unlikely to rebound. The way you help the economy is you quarantine now, clamp this down. You look at, Trump says, you look at automobile accidents, which are far greater than any numbers we're talking about. That doesn't mean we're going to tell everybody no more driving of cars. This is your brain on capitalism. If it were up to the doctors, they may say, let's keep it shut down. Let's shut down the entire world. So just to let you know, so he's saying, so Trump is saying, don't listen to the doctors. Just so you know, that's what he's saying. Trump is saying, don't listen to the doctors. We got to worry about business. So John Bird Murdoch says, I can't overstate this. Lombardy, Madrid, and New York, all on worse trajectories than Wuhan, China. London may be, but we don't have the data. Wuhan remained locked down for 2 straight months. Huge Western cities could stay locked down for months because they acted too slowly. And here's Trump saying he's going to get rid of the lockdowns. First of all, let's listen to what he says.
Is Dr. Fauci right now? Why is he not at this briefing? Will he attend?
So he's asking, why isn't Dr. Fauci here? So now Trump is doing his briefing without the doctor.
Oh,
it's just him and Pence. Why wouldn't you have the doctor there? Oh, because the doctor's going to contradict you? Because you're saying a bunch of crazy shit and you don't like the doctor getting on the microphone and contradicting you? That's why. Watch this. He's asking, where's Dr. Fauci?
I was just with him for a long time. And he's at the task force meeting right now. We have a task force meeting. He was there.
Does he agree with you about the need to reopen the economy soon?
Well, he doesn't not agree. I mean, we had a long talk, and he understands this.
He doesn't not agree with me. Why would you use a double negative? Because he doesn't agree with you.
There's a tremendous cost to our country, both in terms of lives and in terms of economics and in terms of many, many years of rebuilding something that was a fine-tuned machine. It was nobody's fault. It just happened. This horrible virus came from wherever, and it just happened. It just happened. He fully understands that. No.
I wonder why he said it came from wherever. Why now? Why did he stop saying China?
I was wondering.
Why didn't he say China? Came from wherever, and
he's a good man. I like Dr. Fauci a lot, just so you understand. No, he's not here because we really weren't discussing what he's best at, but he'll be back up very soon. Yeah, please. And we'll be discussing dates and times with him. And we are talking about I don't want to use the word abbreviated because so much has been gained by what we've done, but we're talking about not during the period, during the 14 or 15 days, but not too long after that. Mr. President.
So he's saying just lock down for 14 or 15 days. Wuhan locked down for 2 months. Anyway, I think the lockdowns are being ordered by governors. Anyway, so there's that. So it'll be up to the governors. Thank God. Andrew Yang says, I had a relative land in Asia. They have been escorted to their apartment where an alarm has been put on their door and they are not allowed to leave for 2 weeks. A government worker visits them every day to deliver food and take their temperature. That's what they're doing in Asia. That's how they're handling it there. Here, Trump's like, we got to get people back out into the economy because that's how they think. Just let everybody get it. That's how dumb they are. That's how they can't see anything else. It's like the people who they don't care if the Titanic goes down, as long as they have a first class seat. That's what this is. This is cutting into my first class seat buying. I don't care if the whole world goes to hell, but I want to be in first class when it happens. That's what that is. Anything, Steph? Anyone add anything?
Well, when I see something like this, that I don't know why anybody would say that we're going to be okay in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because all evidence is showing that this continues to escalate. And what is really horrifying is every time you go and you read on social media, the decisions that they're having to make in Italy and the consequences of the decision. And if you're 65 and there is a younger person who needs medical attention, they're going to let the 65-year-old or older die. So this is horrifying to me that somebody in a leadership position, whether it's Trump or a governor, that is pretending that 2 weeks we're going to be okay. And I was talking about the wildcat strike that they were having in certain auto industries, and that when I read other headlines that they're talking about that they're going to force some people back to work, and I go, everybody, stay inside. Stay inside. And whether or not the people that are leading our country right now are smart enough to tell you that, I think we have to continue to self-quarantine. Jimmy?
I am self-quarantining. So again, they say that I heard today, who was I listening to that said this, the earliest the vaccine could be available to start being put in people's arms would be next summer. Not this summer, next summer.
Not
2020.
2020.
And I don't see how anyone goes to a concert or does anything until there's a vaccine. Because they say 40 to 70% of the country is going to get this. So what will happen is people will start, who will get it, will then have immunity, and then they can go out in the world.
That's what we think will happen now.
That's what we think will happen. That's
right.
what the doctors are saying.
There's nothing that we can say with authority about the medical outcomes.
Hey, this is the part where I tell you where our live shows are, but there aren't any. And then I would tell you to go join our premium, but nobody has a fucking job. So why don't you just enjoy the video?